Whom the Gods Fear by Wdowski. Chapter 19. Only 10 hours after the 3 scout frigates had jumped into the system, their D-mass generators were ready to jump again. As suddenly as they appeared, the ships disappeared to 3 different corners of the star system, taking up ideal surveillance positions. Captain, the Xingni's warships are on the move. Put them up on the screen. They could make out that the 3 Xingni ships were rounding Xing's 7 moving parallel along the ring towards the polo. Captain, they are doing active sensor sweeps into the ring. Ruble turned to Glenn, who was sitting behind him. Now what? I am assuming that we will not be able to hide from their active sensors, asked Glenn. As Captain Dowen was so fond of pointing out, we are not a stealth ship, answered Ruble. So what clever idea do you have to get us out of this one? We could jump, suggested Commander Granite. We could, agreed Glenn, but I want us to be here when the fleet arrives. The fleet isn't due for another day, answered Captain Ruble. We could always jump back again just before the fleet arrives. Glenn sat silently thinking. Since the 3 Earth Scout frigates had already jumped out of their area of space, it would be another 10 hours for them to jump back to their rescue. That is if their long-range sensors are even picking up the movement of the 3 ships bearing down on them. He also realized that Captain Dowen will most likely follow his orders to the letter, and not even come to their rescue, not wanting to jeopardize his mission. How long until they discover us? At their present rate of speed, I would say we have 4 hours at least. One of the bridge officers replied. Glenn thought to himself that the prudent move would be for them to clear the ring and make a jump out of the system. The gutsy move would be to try to open a communications channel with the Xingni's ships. He could resolve the conflict now, before the first fleet even arrives. If the Xingni's, though, are not open to talking, his only hope may be Dr. Verne and Lieutenant Commander Wdowski's repelling shields. That is if they will actually work. If he runs, they won't be able to return to the system for at least a full 24 hours. He would then be gambling they can return back to the system in time to intercept the first fleet before it engaged the Xingni's. You're going to run, stated Ruble. Actually, I am thinking of not running. Mr. Yeager, they will discover us, pointed out Granite. Let them find us. I for one am tired of hiding. I say we hit them hard before they do. Captain Ruble answered. The repelling shield is ready, yes? Asked Glenn. Aye, it is. And so are the rail cannons and CL turrets, answered Ruble. We should use them while we still have the element of surprise. We can easily hit them from this distance. We might even be able to put a second volley into them before they even know what hit them. 3 against 1, replied Granite. We don't even know what kind of armor they have or firepower. I am not considering hitting them. I am considering trying to talk with them, answered Glenn. The polo maneuvered out of a ring, revealing itself to the Xingni's warships. Are you sure you know what you are doing? No, I am not, Captain Ruble, but we have to try. Glenn turned to the communications officer to open all communication channels and have the linguistic computer translate into Xingni's. Peaceful greetings, we are the non-military Earth vessel YS Marco Polo. We wish to open negotiations to re-establish peaceful and mutually beneficial relations. Silence. They don't seem interested in talking, pointed out Captain Ruble. This is Glenn Yeager. I am a personal friend of Tri-Council Subsecretary Quaquesnath, requesting peaceful negotiations. More silence. The 3 Xingni ships have altered their course and are accelerating in our direction. The bridge's sensor officer reported. You got their attention at least, added Captain Ruble. I repeat, we are a non-military Earth vessel, requesting peaceful negotiations. Still more silence from the Xingni's warships as they quickly shorten the gap between themselves and the polo. Glenn could feel the tension building amongst the bridge crew. When the Xingni's warships were within 500 miles, the magnified image on the main bridge screen showed several small explosions emanating from their hulls. All 3 vessels have launched missiles. Damn bastards. I told you we should have hit them first, screamed Captain Ruble. Poor thrusters, reorient us 180 degrees. Fire up sublight engines full power. Activate CL batteries, hot defense setting. The polo turned about to flee from the Xingni's warships as the CL turrets engaged the incoming missiles and began picking them off with pinpoint accuracy. The main bridge screen remained on the Xingni's warships as they launched even more salvos of guided missiles at the polo. The Polo attempted to flee at its maximum sublight speed, yet the Xingni's coastal ships were too fast and were already within 400 miles of them. As they closed in, the Xingni's continuously fired more missiles. "They are too close now, and there are too many missiles for the CL batteries to target and take out," screamed Granite. At that moment the bridge's main battle screen went completely black. "We are blind, Captain. All sensors are down." Rebecca Stern's voice screeched over the bridge's intercom system. "What happened to the damn stars? There are no stars outside my portal window." From the Xingni's point of view, the Polo radiated as a white ball of light. The Xingni's captains wrongly assumed that some of their missiles had finally made it through the Polo's curtain of crystal-based energy laser defensive batteries, and they had destroyed the Polo, turning it into a silent explosion of pure white energy. Wdowski's idea for reversing the polarity of the force of gravity worked. The D-mass generator successfully repelled the incoming missiles. The missiles were not destroyed but redirected harmlessly from the Polo. Once the ship's computer sensed the drop of energy from the D-mass generator, it shut down the repelling shield. The Polo's sensors all came back alive, as well as the stars outside of Rebecca Stern's portal window. Before the remaining missiles could reset their guidance systems to barrel back down on the Polo, the Polo's CL batteries targeted and destroyed the remaining missiles into bursts of silent flashes of orange and yellow balls of fire. Depleted of guided missiles, the Xingni's warships continued narrowing the gap between them and the Marco Polo and opened fire with their energy weapons. Like an unthinking reflex, the Polo's main computer triggered the D-mass generator to activate the repelling shield. Again, all of the Polo sensors went dark, and the stars outside Rebecca Stern's portal disappeared again. Again, the Xingni's bridge crews viewed the Polo turning once again into a ball of white light as their energy weapons reflected off it. This time it was clear to them that their weapons were not getting through. The brown Xingni's commander of the task force ordered his ships to turn broadside to expose the Polo to all their energy weapon batteries. Before they opened fire, they got in close enough that the bridge crew of the Polo could clearly make out the signature blood red and black coloring of the Xingni's warships. They circled the Polo and released a broadside of energy weapon fire. Within only 30 miles, the Polo's repelling shield intensified into white glows as it repelled the energy weapon fire from 3 different directions. Glenn began to worry if the reactor could continue supplying enough power to the repelling shield. They were unfortunately blinded as long as the Xingni's continued firing their weapons upon them. Several minutes passed, and they were still in the dark as the repelling shield bent the Xingni's energy beams and all light energy away from them. Rebecca then entered. "Where the hell are the stars?" "They are gone again," she screeched, seeing that the main bridge screen was also pitch black. Within seconds the stars returned when the Xingni's ceased their attempting to blast the Polo out of the sky. "Now, Commander Granite," shouted Glenn. Understanding Glenn completely, Granite targeted one of the Xingni's warships with both rail cannon turrets and opened fire. 4 iridium pellets struck the Xingni's warship at hypersonic speed, punching massive holes through their armor-plated hulls. The depressurized ship veered away from Polo and attempted to limp away. The other 2 Xingni's ships returned fire, causing the Polo's repelling shield to reactivate. "Well done, Commander Granite," congratulated Captain Rubel. The rest of the bridge crew gave out a cheer and clapping. Glenn seemed only to be aware that they had lost all sensors again. He was not swept up into the bridge crew's euphoria. He remained focused. Using his forearm comm, he connected to Lieutenant Commander Wdowski. "How is the D-mass generator holding up?" "Is pulling a lot of energy from the fusion reactor. I had to add power from a second reactor to supplement the energy drain. Is holding up now, but I don't know for how much longer," reported Wdowski. "Let's hope their weapon systems overheat before that happens." Glenn was concerned. "Let me know if there is any weakening of either the D-mass generator or the fusion reactors." Moments later, the Xingni's ships ceased firing upon the Polo as their energy weapon batteries were beginning to heat up to critical levels. Again, Granite used the opportunity to open fire on a second Xingni's warship. Along with the rail cannons, he also had 3 of the 4 CL batteries at their hottest setting target a second ship. This time, though, he concentrated all their firepower on where the sensors determined where the Xingni's reactors were located. The Xingni's ship span like a top as the Polo's weapons struck them on their port aft section. They could see all power shutting down on the vessel as flames and only atmosphere shot out of its gaping wound. The third ship fled from the battlefield at its top speed, leaving behind its two crippled sister ships. The first ship still had limited power and was already attempting to leave the scene. "Shall I finish them off?" asked Commander Granite to Glenn. "Yes," replied Captain Ruble. "No," answered Glenn Yeager. "Set a pursuit course after that third ship." Ruble ordered his helmsman, "Don't let those bastards get away." "Delay that order," countermanded Glenn, Captain Mahan. "Aye, Mr. Yeager." "Report to the hangar bay with your Marines. I will have the med team join you. We will move in closer to their ship before you launch your shuttles. I want you to board their vessel and see if you can assist any survivors." "Aye, Mr. Yeager." Captain Mann used his forearm-com to order his men to meet him at the shuttle bay as he exited the bridge. Glenn used his forearm-com to order a medic team to join Mahan and his Marines. "Are you kidding?" questioned Ruble. "They unwarrantedly opened fire on us, and you are going to send out a rescue team." "Yes, Captain Ruble. That is exactly what I am going to do. If you have a problem with my command decisions, you are free to step down as captain." Glenn stared firmly into Ruble's hardened eyes. "You are making another mistake, Yeager. You were lucky this time. But those two ships you are allowing to get away will return with their friends." Glenn calmly replied, "I am confident as soon as they made contact with us, they had already relayed that information back to their base on Xing 6 and the Xingne's home world. Long-range sensors have picked up 12 vessels breaking Xing VI's orbit," confirmed the sensors officer. "Well, Mr. Yeager, it looks like you got the opposite of what you were hoping for. I doubt strongly that our fusion reactors will be able to generate enough power for the repellent shield to hold off that much firepower." Ruble sat in his command chair, nearly pouting, like a child. "Our fleet will be here before then. It won't be 1 against 12. Granite supported Glenn. "Right now, let's hope that Captain Mahan finds survivors aboard that ship." Glenn looked up towards the bridge's main display screen. It was tracking the dead Xingne's vessel still spinning uncontrollably as it continued to slowly circle the polo. "Bring us in closer, Captain Ruble." "Aye, Mr. Yeager," unenthusiastically Ruble obeyed. "Helm, bring us within 1 kilometer of the disabled Xingne's vessel, and then signal for the shuttles to be launched."